and I wanted to share a recipe with you because I've been trying all these amazing recipes that are both raw, uncooked, and vegan, no animal products, just vegetables, plant-based. I feel amazing. My waist is shrinking and I'm feeling really excited about that. My body feels nice and lubricated. So I am sharing in my classes and online and with you because this feels good. Even if you only adopted this once a week or once a month, it can only be good for you. A lot of people think that when you go plant-based that all you're eating is salad. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a good salad, but there are plenty of other things to eat. And so today I'm going to share a very easy recipe that is delicious and filling. So here it is, mushroom pizza, vegan, raw mushroom pizza. So it's uncooked. And of course your base is going to be mushrooms. Now, I'm not big on mushrooms, at least I wasn't in the past, but this recipe tastes so good. You can't not love it. Very easy though, so here we go. So I will show you. Shout out to Taking Tea in Style. This is my morning tea. I like to drink it in a wine glass. Anyway, mushrooms, portobello. Here it is. And you can see it's dripping a little bit. It wasn't a marinade. You need to marinate twice. So you remember the other day I was saying it's really important to be aware of how you have to prep your food? Well, here is a prime example. Mushrooms are awesome, but they're super spongy. So when you put a marinade on them, it sits for a little while and then you get to eat it and it absorbs all the delicious flavors. So you're actually gonna start with your mushroom already with the stem off. This is just a portobello. And I did 2 marinades for this. The first one was with a vinegar. So this is balsamic, but the recipe actually called for a plum vinegar. I couldn't find plum vinegar, so here we are. I used balsamic. And I just pulled out enough in a larger container, looks like this. Poured it on the top and on the bottom, got it nice and wet. It's set for 30 minutes. Then I went back to my mushrooms 30 minutes later, and I used 2 ingredients. My coconut aminos, which is sort of thick and on the sweeter side. It's a little sweetish. And I use coriander. So just 2 ingredients. And not as dark as the vinegar. Delicious. So 30 minutes, the vinegar. After that 30 minutes, your coconut aminos and coriander. 30 minutes. All right, so that is that. So that is my base, that's my crust. We're halfway there, right? Then cheese. So the recipe calls for macadamian cheese, but I use cashews. So I've got only 3 real ingredients and then some seasonings. So let me show you what it looks like first. So here's the cheese. All right. See if I can grab a spoon so you guys can see. Tastes so good. I love it. 3 ingredients. Half a lemon, and guess what? I just use a knife, cut the skin right off. I don't worry about anything else. I leave the seeds in there and everything. Here are my nuts. You have to actually soak your cashews at least 30 minutes, but I did mine overnight, all right? And then my nutritional yeast here looks like this. You see that? Okay. So, very easy. 3 ingredients. Then there's a blending. You blend the stuff. Now, yesterday, my blender started acting crazy. So I wound up having to use my little hand blender. I'm sorry, my food processor. So I used my little hand blender and it was totally fine. Last, but certainly not least, I made a vegan raw marinara. Can you believe it? It was so good. So good. Okay. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ingredients. And I had plenty left over so I could use it for my zoodles for spaghetti. Perfect. So we have some tomatoes, diced, sun-dried tomatoes, which actually have to be soaked ahead of time, the night before. Don't get the one in oil, right? Get the just dried, sun-dried tomatoes. Soak them overnight. We got some garlic. Now, be careful. Don't overdo it with the garlic. I did a little bit, and I had to tone it down a bunch. You need a small piece of ginger. I wouldn't go bigger than this. Recipe calls for chia seeds, but I use flax seeds because that's what I had in the house. All right, into the blender. My same little blender over there. And zoop, zoop, zoop. Done with that. The marinade is done. Let me show you what it looks like. Ta-da! I'm like a chef. It's good. Okay, so now what are we gonna do? We're gonna put it all together so you can see the awesomeness here, right? All right, here we go. And of course, I am going to post the recipe because, you know, it's only fair. When you're going into vegan raw, maybe it might feel a little bit overwhelming, like, I don't know what to do, but here it is, I'm helping you out. So, my marinade, gonna put that on first. Rinse my spoon. Can you see that? Let's see. Well, let's do it after. I don't want it to be too messy. Then I'm gonna do my cashew cheese right on top. And I've got plenty so that I could have this for maybe lunch and as well as another time. So maybe I'll do it for dinner. So I put this with a salad and it was so fantastic and so filling. You do not have to starve as a vegan raw foodist. You can eat and feel good about it. All right, so now I got my marinara, I got my cheese going. And now I just need my topping. So I'm just going to take some of these tomatoes that I diced up and put it on top. Like that. I'm going to add a little Italian seasoning. And of course, seasoning is key. You got to add your seasonings so that the food comes alive. And voila, it is done. Now, ahead of time, you do have to soak your cashews. You do have to soak your sun-dried tomatoes. You got to do all of that ahead. If you don't, then you're going to be spending a whole lot of time in the kitchen because you didn't plan. And the great thing about it is that when you plan one thing, it also helps you with every other thing, like a domino effect. All right, you ready to see it? Here we go. Let's see. I'm never that good at this. Let's see if I can lift it up. That's gonna be better. Ta-da! Voila, voila, voila. Now what about a taste? Let's give it a little taste. My mouth is watering. Boom! Fork and knife. Don't want to be messy. Oh, so good. So good. So good. All right, I'm gonna bring this a little closer so you can see me. Right here. So good. Seriously. You gotta try this recipe. Raw, mushroom, vegan, pizza. It's the business. See you guys later.